What's up, YouTube? It's Vin here, and before I start, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I am at, I think, 66 subscribers right now, almost 70. That's awesome. I never think I'd get that many. To some people, that's not, a lot, but to me it is, since I never thought I'd get over 10. So, thank you guys very much. My goal is to get to 100. And I'm sure for, the rate in which I'm doing videos, I'll get there, so thank you very much. And today, I'm gonna introduce some death metal to my channel, because I'm a death metal fan. I really like death metal, and, it's just a genre that I haven't talked about yet, so I'm going to. Specifically, I'm gonna talk Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life, the band's debut released in 1990. Now, Cannibal Corpse is a band that most people have probably heard of. Even if you're not a fan of death metal, they're a pretty popular band. They're one of the, if not the best-selling death metal band of all time. And they're, like I said, they're controversial. Did I say that? Pretty sure I did. They have extremely gory lyrics, as well as extremely gory artwork. Just what they do. And the reason I'm talking about the band's debut is because I'm a big fan of the first singer that they had. They had two singers. They had Chris Barnes and George Corpse Grinder Fisher. I love both. I think both are great. But I really think Chris Barnes just has a unique voice. And as a whole, this album is definitely kind of unique amongst the rest of the band's discography. There's a big thrash influence. Chris Barnes hadn't started fully doing those really low gutturals like he would do on Butchered at Birth and Tomb of the Mutilated. Instead, he has this kind of, it's still guttural, but it's very full, and it's kind of like this bark. But it sounds fantastic, and it gives the record a unique edge that the other albums don't have. So, Eaten Back to Life. Like I said, the sound of this record is thrashy. You can hear some Slayer in here, but tons of death metal records you can hear, because Slayer, a pretty big part of that, influence. It's a very fast record for the most part. There are breakdowns and there are, points where it slows down, but for the most part, it's going full force. And I think the thing I really like about this record is that it's very, it's kind of like this huge ball of just aggression. Every single song: Shredded Humans, Edible Autopsy, Skull Full of Maggots, Born in a Casket, Rotting Head, Buried in the Backyard. Yeah, you can kind of tell what the songs in this album are about. Every song is different, but they're similar enough to have, like, a flow, and that's what's great about it. Each song is just, and they're, like, short bursts, too. There's not, I think the longest song is the last song, Buried in the Backyard. It's, like, 5.5 minutes. I might be wrong about that, but I know it's definitely longer than most of the songs on here. And Chris Barnes' vocals. Chris Barnes is a great vocalist. I love the early Cannibal Corpse records for that reason. His vocals are just disgusting. He like I said, in the later albums, he has a guttural that's so low that in the album, their third album, Tomb of the Mutilated, another fantastic album, in the booklet, it says, electric harmonizers were not used to create any vocals. That's how low they are, that you would think maybe they did something to them, but they don't. Just a fantastic death metal vocalist, awesome. He exhibits his low vocals on songs like Shredded Humans and Put Them to Death, but then he exhibits more of his higher range in songs like Skull Full of Maggots. Sorry, my nose itches. The production on this record is also very good for a debut. The guitars are very crisp and dirty. I know that kind of contradicts it, but I mean, they sound crisp, you can hear what they're doing, but the tone is dirty. That's what I meant. Should elaborate. The drums are very punchy, and they kind of have like a nice pop to them, and it makes the blast beats really just kind of just punch you in the face, which is what you want from death metal. You want to be bludgeoned. The bass, okay, Alex Webster, despite being a fantastic bassist, is also one of the nicest and intelligent people, not only in death metal, not only in metal, but anybody I've ever seen. He's so awesome, Alex Webster. You should look up an interview with that guy, because he is the man. But he is a phenomenal bassist, and unfortunately, in this album, you can still hear him, but not as much. He's a little bit pushed in the background, whereas albums like Butchered at Birth and Tomb of the Mutilated, especially Tomb of the Mutilated, he just shines. And you really get to see what a phenomenal bassist he is. But you can still hear him, just not as much, unfortunately. And yeah, I think another reason why I like this album is because I'm a fan of old school death metal. I really like the classic, 86 through like 95 kind of era of death metal. And out of all Cannibal Corpse's albums, this album is the one that feels most old school. To the classic gory artwork, which I will be getting a shirt of soon because I love the artwork. To the just blood-drenched lyrics. These lyrics are not as bad as Cannibal Corpse albums would be in the future. In fact, Tomb of the Mutilated is like the most disgusting album I've ever heard. But, I understand why people don't like them, because they are very gruesome, they are very gory and shocking, but they're supposed to be. It's death metal. Without them, the album wouldn't be death metal, you know what I mean? It fits the theme and it helps the album. And it almost has this kind of cheesiness to it, but I like cheese when it comes to death metal. Is that just me? You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind hearing about, like, people getting their heads cut off by, I don't even know, like a zombie or something, you know what I mean? Like, really gory, cheesy horror lyrics that kind of reflect a horror movie or something like that, you know what I mean? You get lyrics like, for example, Shredded Humans, the intro track, fantastic song. It's about a family getting into a terrible car crash and really gory. Buried in the Backyard, self-explanatory. All the songs are self-explanatory. But, yeah. This is, in my opinion, a death metal classic. I think it's great. You get really rough vocals, fantastic drumming, great bass work, great guitar work, fantastic solos. Just every song is another punch in the face. Just a really great death metal record. I'm gonna give it a 9. There's not one song I don't like. I just wish the bass was put higher in the mix. This album would be better if that was, featured on it. But, besides that, this is a fantastic album. And, if you are interested in death metal and you haven't heard it, I would recommend it as a starting point. Cannibal Corpse is the band that got me into death metal. So maybe I'm just being biased since I like them, so much. But, I'd highly recommend getting this album. It's not too long, and yeah, 9, fantastic record. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, rate, comment. If you have something you'd like to see me review, I'd be happy to get to it. And I already have a lot of requests kind of lined up that I need to get to. So anyone who has requested an album, I'm getting there. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to obtain the album sometimes. But I did Loveless, so I'm kind of on a roll with, requests. And, man, my nose is itchy. I'll see you guys later.